I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Last Man Standing. Hope everybody's doing well out there. God bless you. Today with me, I have one of my best friends and research partners, Billy Ray Valentine. Well, I would say from the Infinite Fringe, but that's in limbo right now, right? It's in limbo, right? So should I still say from the Infinite Fringe or what?
I just got a notification that you're live on your
Oh, you
channel.
got a push notification. That's nice
Uh,
after being legitly shadow banned for a long, long
For
time.
real, not shadow banned, right?
True,
Right.
yes.
For real. That goes around a lot in the alternative media. Oh, I've been shadow banned. Oh, nobody sees my content because I've been shadow banned by the New World Order and the deep state. And in all actuality, nobody gives a shit about your content, but you were actually banned. It's not even a shadow banning. Shadow banning would say that you still had your channel, but they were making it hard for anyone to access it. You didn't have your channel. So congratulations and welcome everyone back. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice for how little time I probably have it, but it's nice to have it, nonetheless.
Right.
We've done many shows together. There's some of them that are still up, obviously, on my YouTube channel. People should know who you are, Billy, obviously. For anybody who's out there listening, Billy is no fan of Donald John Trump. Granted, either am I. There's a lot of interesting things that have been going on. Good old Lucky Lutnick from 9/11 infamy is now out there saying that one of the goals of the Donald John Trump administration is to abolish the Internal Revenue Service. Now, if it was just someone saying it, one of the countless Council for National Policy conservative pundits, I wouldn't really think of it,
Yeah.
but it's Howard Lutnick. So, he's actively working in the Trump administration, I believe, as the Secretary of Commerce, right? Or am I mistaken with Lutnick's position? I think that's what he is. So for him to come out and directly say that is, Secretary of Commerce, is pretty big, So, Billy and I were discussing before the stream, do you think it's going to happen? Because I think it's going to happen. I think they are going to eventually abolish the Federal Reserve. I mean, the Federal Reserve too, but
Federal
Internal
Reserve
Revenue
as well.
Service.
I wouldn't at this point, even though I guess I don't have to see it to believe it at this point. I think it's very, very possible, given that they're just rolling into federal agencies and taking them apart without following any procedure, right? Or any of the guidelines that would typically need to be followed in order to take down such an organization, such an agency or agencies. But you don't see that anymore. It's just, okay, I'm walking in, rest in peace. He literally puts a rest in peace sign on X and it's over. That's it. I don't know how we got to this point, but here we are. There's a lot of people here in the alternative media that are very happy to see these things happen because they're things that we have wanted for quite some time, right? The investigations and audits and all this other stuff. But this isn't exactly that. It's masquerading as an audit. It's masquerading as an investigation. This is a free-for-all bulldozing of the norms of government and not taking into account any of the rules that were set up for our protection, right? And this ignoring all of this stuff, and people are perfectly fine with it. They're not getting any results. People are talking about wins. I do a show called America Unplugged, and there, one of my hosts over there, Don Jeffries, is like, all the wins that we're getting, we're not getting any wins. They haven't given us any information on anything that they've done, supposedly, right? They just spit out stuff that's clouded and muddied in disinformation
Hmm.
or distortion of what's being presented. And people read these things on X and they're like, yeah, it's a fact. And that is all we need to know. And then when we, come up with some actual research, some actual facts to back up what we're saying, that Doge isn't exactly delivering on what they're saying they're delivering on, you get chastised, right? You get called a liberal, Trump derangement syndrome, all sorts of stuff. We have entered a point in time where the mind control is heavier than I've ever seen in my life. I think I can easily say that.
Yeah.
I used to get hit over the head for calling it a cult. It is a cult. That's what's going on here right now. And at the end of the day, you can't trust Congress to push back. Republicans, Congress, MAGA Congress people are just capitulating to Donald Trump, no matter what he says. Well, I mean, no, they want to help him destroy everything so they can keep their positions. So if they ran into the IRS and dismantled it, would I really be surprised? I mean, I guess, because it's been around all my life, but not because it's possible. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not necessarily for paying an income tax, right? I don't think that should be
Well, who is?
the government. Well, yeah, but I don't think that should be our government source of revenue. However, Musk has stated that everybody is going to get a universal basic income, right? He's stated that many times. There's many clips going around of him mentioning it. X is becoming a major payment platform. I think it might be the payment platform for the one world financial system, which they're calling the quantum financial system, which I believe is the beast system, right? You're going to have to take the mark to be in that payment system. But for us to have UBI, and you saw Trump today fired a lot of people saying that he fired a lot of IRS agents. I think he only fired like 6,000, which is like a drop in the bucket of how many IRS agents they have working for the IRS. But, if you're going to have a universal basic income and you're going to have AI run most of the government, which Elon Musk, I think that's what he's attempting to do with Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, then, if you're having AI run everything, and you're having everybody being paid by the government, then, you don't have to do an income tax anymore, and so, like, it's, for all the conservatives out there that are against a universal basic income, you've been talking about for years World Economic Forum and universal basic income and all the issues with that, right? They're going to welcome it in because they're thinking that they're going to abolish the income tax and pay it with tariffs, which I'm not necessarily against that being the primary way that our country makes money, through tariffs and through like some sort of excise tax or some sort of flat tax, right? I'm not necessarily against that. But we know the people that are bringing it in aren't our guys. Like, this isn't like a good thing, because they're going to bring in AI governments. They're going to bring in a universal basic income. And it's not going to be anything that's going to be good. And they're going to abolish the Federal Reserve. They're going to abolish the income tax through the IRS, which people will say are major wins, right? But what they're replacing it is far worse and far more controlling than, look, with all the issues that we've talked about with fiat currency, and it's been decades of the John Birch Society and the Council for National Policy, and the alternative media has attacked fiat currency, right? And there are a lot of issues with fiat currency. I'm not saying that there is not. But what they're going to replace it with, which is kind of like this tokenized, commodity-backed, basket of cryptocurrencies where everything is tokenized, everything has a price, and I've covered that with Ryan from Real Sports History. We've shown the wealthy, ultra wealthy Durst family putting it out through the U.S. debtclock.org, their plan, which they even have a Doge of how much Doge is allegedly saving us now on the U.S. debt clock. I'll take a picture of it up in a minute. But, it's not good. Like the things that they're setting up for, whether or not like we think that, income tax is a problem, it's none of this is good because what they're replacing with is far worse. What they're replacing the Federal Reserve with the tokenization of all assets with a basket of cryptocurrencies, is far worse than fiat currency could ever be. So I'm not in favor of any of this, but a lot of people are because they've been through the alternative media and through conspiratainment have been kind of brainwashed, to the externalization of the hierarchy occurring
Right.
allegedly by Alice Bailey this year. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't your fault. I was muted, and I'm over here like we've been trained.
Yeah.
And you weren't, reacting. And I'm like, look over. I'm like, oh, I'm muted. We've absolutely been trained to believe these narratives, sometimes without any real proof to back it up.
Yeah.
No, I was there. I admittedly I listened to Infowars for the better part of 15 years, every day religiously. And I know what John is talking about. I know the training and the indoctrination because I was most certainly there. So we want these things to happen. Well, we've been trained to want these things to happen, and I'm speaking in generalities here. I'm not speaking for everyone. I no longer want these things to happen.
Me either.
I don't even know if we can fund the country based on tariffs alone. I am certainly not an economist or
would require some sort of excise tax too, right? Some sort of not income tax, but some sort of like excess, like goods tax, like a fair tax, like a flat tax with tariffs to be able to fund the United States government.
Because I've been listening to experts talk about it, and they're like, "This is not doable." But then again, I don't know. I just have to take their words for it, whether it's doable or not. Because I'm not in that world. I don't know anything about it. But I do know, eventually, what they've been talking about for quite some time is a universal basic income, and that's the end game here. That's where we're going to end up. Fully dependent on the government, and I know that's what a lot of people that subscribe to the alternative media would want to push away from, but now we're headed straight to it without breaks, and praising the journey there. That's what's most concerning about this, John.
No, I would definitely agree with you on that. Most people are definitely for it. Billy, have you ever seen this website before I put up on screen?
No, I haven't, bro. First time.
So do you remember the infamous Durst case where was it I always get the first name confused of the famous Robert Durst, yeah. So Robert Durst was convicted for killing his neighbor and his longtime girlfriend, and it was a very famous case. Do you remember it at all?
I do not.
So anyway, the Durst family were real estate moguls from New York City. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they put forth this usdebtclock.org, and this is directly from the Durst family. And as you can see, there's a Doge clock here now of how much Doge is supposedly saving in money right now, and right now it's at $114 billion, almost $115 billion. Okay. Now over here, over here there used to be this thing called open closed secret window, and you would click it, and you can see all of these kind of like quantum financial system, kind of QAnon operation, theosophical like pictures, right? So here you have the American super cycle, a golden age of wonders, pushing the golden age, theosophical golden age narrative, right?
Right.
And so I'll try to find the picture on the X account real quick. But one of the biggest pictures was it where it shows the coming financial system or what they're going to use to replace. And this is a very ultra elite family. It's not just like Jewish family. It's not just like some off the wall like Q-tard,
Right.
And let me see if I can find that real quick. Any thoughts on that or anything of just, how crazy that is?
I was just listening to your breakdown of it. I really don't have an in-depth assessment on it, but everybody seems to be pushing the esoteric shit all of a sudden. Right? And these are very, very powerful people, so you have to look up and raise an eyebrow real quick and see what's going on.
Yeah, very much so. So let me find the U.S. debt clock.
Now, most of those savings that they're talking about, that Doge is saving us, let's not, and I know I'm not saying we're doing that here on We've Read or anybody listening, but a lot of the alternative media is like, you see, they found so much fraud.
Yeah.
They have fired so many people, so many that they would call the deep state, the administrative state, that regular people that you and I that make 50, 60, 70, $80,000 a year to support their families, they have fired thousands of these people. And how much of that money is what they have actually saved us? They're going into entire agencies and gutting them, and they're continuing to do that. Are there some programs that they have cut that maybe factor into this? Yeah, probably. Was it fraud? Highly unlikely. I'm not saying that fraud doesn't take place. I'm just saying anything that Elon Musk has pointed out is highly unlikely to be fraud. I don't think they've looked long enough, and they haven't proven anything. So I mean, is there any real fraud going on? Probably at some level, but most of the stuff that they're finding isn't that. So I think a lot of that money is coming from the pockets of your fellow working Americans. Let's keep that in mind. Go ahead, buddy.
So here you have the U.S. debt clock. I guess they've deleted some of their postings that they used to have up, but I have a record of all their postings in the past. But here's one. Imagine a world without the Fed, Billy, the new U.S. dollar. It's elemental, based off of gold and silver, right? Now there's what about this? Q activated.
Very
American
nice.
XRP, Doge clocked. Is no tax on tips the gateway to eliminate the income tax? So here we have kind of like stuff for the quantum financial reset, the depth to wealth revolution. But they used to have one that had like everything tokenized, like the stock market, treasuries, capital, and labor. It's still in my video that I did with Ryan from Real Sports History. But they had literally everything: gold, silver, food. Everything was tokenized, because I think that's what they're going to replace this current fiat system with. And they're going to tell people we're bringing back the gold and silver standard, but you won't have money anymore. You'll have a basket of currencies. There won't be a U.S. Fed coin per se, or maybe there will be, but you'll have a choice of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's the people's coin, right? It's the people's coin, right? So you'll have a choice. They'll try to sell it. You'll have a group of currencies, majority of them being owned by Peter Thiel. Or Peter Thiel being an early investor in, like reserve rights or XRP or XLM. I think that's what's going to end up happening, and I think that's how they're going to sell it to the American people. And they'll say, hey, we'll give you a certain amount of money, which most people would say that this is what was going to happen under a universal basic income under the World Economic Forum and under Biden, right? But now, since Trump's doing it and they're abolishing the Federal Reserve and they're abolishing the income tax, then give me my money. That's what people will say. Give me my money. It's fine. Give me my money.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a video of Lutnick on everybody's favorite Jesse Waters, okay, the Fox News shill,
the filth rag that is the Jesse Waters show.
Here's him saying it right now.
So he's going to cut $1 trillion, and then we're going to get rid of all these tax scams that hammer against America, and we're going to raise $1 trillion of revenue. And our objective under Donald Trump is to balance this budget. And I'm telling you, you watch it, we're going to do it.
If you get savings from these Doge cuts, Are you going to give any of this back to the American people? We keep hearing about these Doge dividends.
Well, think about it. Donald Trump announces the External Revenue Service, and his goal is very simple. His goal is to abolish the Internal Revenue Service and let all the outsiders pay. I mean, this is someone who is focused on America.
He did announce the External Revenue Service, Billy. He did do that.
He did, but they also said Mexico would pay for the wall, and that shit never happened. So.
True, but we're in the administration where it does look like Trump is making things happen for what it is.
What's he make? Well,
I'm not saying it's good stuff, but stuff is happening this time compared to the failures of the first Trump administration. Some of the things being failures, some of the things not being failures, right? Like OWS, right? But, let's continue.
Let's drive down our waste, fraud, and abuse. I'll give you an example. Cruise ships. You ever see a cruise ship with an American flag on the back? They have flags of like Liberia or Panama. None of them pay taxes. None of them pay taxes. Every super tanker, none pays taxes. Alcohol, all foreign alcohol, no taxes. This is going to end under Donald Trump, and those taxes are going to be paid, and Americans' tax rates are going to come down. That's what Donald Trump wants to do. Balance our budget and cut our taxes. I mean, imagine a Democratic senator going against that. What planet are these people on?
Thoughts, Bill? I mean, this guy literally, like, you know about Lucky Lutnick, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like this, this guy's got blood on his hands, and he's gonna sit here and just, say this crap on Jesse Waters' show,
Well, everybody goes on Jesse Waters' show and says crap, and then Jesse Waters, adds to the crap. He, for the crap coming out of his mouth. This is going to be. Do you think we see it? Do you think we see $5,000 per every American?
I mean, they gotta sell the universal basic income somehow, right?
Wouldn't this make inflation even worse?
I mean, yeah, they were saying that about Biden, but who cares, right? We're getting a bunch of wins. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
Now, Billy, I know you live in good old New York City, but how do you feel about this? Congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king. President Donald John Trump, long live the king. In a Time magazine article with Trump being king. I thought we had a president, but I guess we don't have a president anymore because unitary executive theory. I guess Bannon is very happy on the War Room. So we now have King Donald Trump. How do you feel about that?
Who? Look who posted it. It was the White House account.
Exactly, right? Yes, which means it will go into the archives.
It's incredible that we've gotten to a point where we have a king admitted by the White House and being pushed as such. He wants to be the king, and he is giving himself all the powers in the world. He says that he can't act against the law as long as he is acting on behalf of his country. Mm-hmm. So it does not look good, but he's the king of the world. Kathy Hochul here in New York, our governor, says she's going to push back against Trump's decree to the end of congestion prices. A lot of people here in New York will be very happy to see that go away. And more wins on behalf of the Trump administration, and this is going or the illegitimate Trump regime, as I like to call it. So more of these little wins. People are going to be happy getting the scraps off the table, even when they're losing, they're hemorrhaging their rights and their money, through the backside, while they're being presented with little tiny trinkets in front of them. It's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah, and of course we have your mayor Eric Adams, who we know is
Easy on the possessives here. Okay?
never done anything wrong. Okay, like he's definitely, you know, completely clean when he's having you know, running gaming vans for the city of New York with the pedophile Brock Pierce. All right, never done anything wrong. All right, well, here he's at the Rebbe's grave. Good old Rebbe Minchheim Mendel Schneerson of Chabad Lubavitch. Last night, I visited the grave of Grand Rebbe Minchheim Mendel Schneerson, where I prayed for strength and global peace. Of course, you know, Schneerson wanted to set up them Noahide world courts, right? World courts, right? For some global peace, right? So, you know, I mean, Trump was there. You know, Trump put the rock on top of the grave, which there are some ways of interpreting that through Jewish mysticism, that he took upon the Rebbe's soul or the Rebbe's job to finish it here on earth, wherever you, I mean, obviously I don't believe that to be true, but that's what it's one of the ways you can interpret it through Jewish fables. So, you know, I want to, you know, thank from you know, X from sending this to me. You know, so how do you feel about your mayor, Eric Adams, who's never done anything wrong? MAGA loves him. He's great. He's working with Trump, you know, to deport the illegals. How do you feel about Eric Adams in his time of need going to throw a prayer or paper to Rebbe Minchheim Mendel Schneerson, who some Chabad members still believe that just like Lenin in the episode of Simpsons where he busts through the glass when the USSR comes back and he's still alive, right? Thinks that, you know, Schneerson is going to raise from the dead and be the Messiah, okay? When he's in Hades awaiting judgment. How do you feel about Eric Adams bending a knee to Chabad Lubavitch for his freedom?
No, a better question is, what is Eric Adams thinking going over there? What does he believe? Right.
We don't know. He doesn't really state anything.
I mean, he's over there praying for wisdom and for peace and whatever else. You detailed in the beginning when you were giving the description of this. Why is he going to this man's grave to pray for these things? I think he's full of crap, personally. I don't think he believes in anything. He just wants to not go to jail. So he will sell himself out to whomever he has to sell himself out to stay the hell out of jail, whether it be Trump or whomever else. And I think he is setting all the appropriate expectations and polishing perception in front of very, very important people that could play a pivotal role in him staying out of jail. I think that's what's happening here.
I would definitely agree on that. Just like we saw the alleged pedophile Bob Menendez, who you know, was convicted. You know, a former senator from New Jersey, right? He was a senator, right?
Yeah, Bob Menendez, right?
Yeah. He said Trump was going to clean up the corruption. Let me see if I can find that. Which, you know, all the, you know, Trump supporters and MAGA people usually would really hate on Bob Menendez, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, you know, because he's appealing to Trump, you know, they love him.
Yeah. I love him. I think he's fantastic.
So, I mean, you know, it's just crazy to me, you know. Trump loves somebody or someone appeals to Trump, and all of a sudden, you know, they're okay with him.
Yeah. That's what's going on. MAGA doesn't really have a spine. You know, they don't have any principles. They don't have any morals. It's nothing. It's whatever Donald Trump wants. Even if he changes his mind from one moment to the next, they just follow blindly to whatever master says, unless it's about immigration. Apparently, that's the only time you saw the MAGA Civil War happen, and that got resolved quite quickly because they unified under different issues.
Yeah. So here we have Bob Menendez.
Welcome to the Southern District of New York, the Wild West of political prosecutions. President Trump is right. This process is political.
Of course it is.
It's corrupted to the core. I hope
Disgusting.
President Trump cleans
And
up.
someone yells in the back, someone who yells in the media, how is this political? When Bob Menendez, everybody used to agree that he was corrupt as they came. Like corrupt.
Yeah, but these people, it's just insane how they go to bed at night, or how they look at themselves in the mirror. Him and Eric Adams, two peas in a pod. Like, how do they bold-face lie like this to the people? You know, and then the people want to eat these lies and embrace these lies. I don't get it, John. I don't understand.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. But that's what he's going to say. And I got something for you, Billy. I saved it just for this stream. I have
No more.
I have
No
something.
more.
I have something that you'll really want. Guess who was on the Alex Jones show today?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, come on. I guess who's in Council for National Policy member Alex Jones' show? Come on, just guess a little bit. Guess who would rear his ugly head to make an appearance?
Everybody wants to get on this show now, right? He was invited to the White House.
Alex Jones is on the Ozempic,
Right.
or crack, or something that makes you lose weight. Maybe meth. I don't know. But it was good old Alexander Dugin.
Get out.
It's
Good
not.
Lord.
It's not the only time.
Wow.
So let's hear what Alexander Dugin, the Russian theosophist, okay, the Russian Rasputin to Vladimir Putin.
Right?
See what
The
Dugin,
Russian Steve Bannon.
See what Dugin has to say.
It is too late to kill Putin or Trump, because the trends they have started, the energies they have liberated, the powers they have awakened, they already transcend their human personalities.
That's right.
So this time, Trump 2.0.
So Dugin just said it's too late to kill Putin or Trump because they've already transcended their human personalities. So what is this? Some sort of like ascended master, or like, they're like aliens, and like this is like some sort of like, Alice Bailey, like. They've ascended to the higher level. The aliens took over their fleshly bodies, the ascended masters. I mean, I've covered Dugin a lot. He's a theosophist, all right? He's also a Russian cosmist, okay? Like, him and Elon Musk share very similar views, all right? But, I mean, thoughts. I definitely got to cover the whole stream. But
I
thoughts.
think it's more like it's too late to kill them because they have a legacy that's going to surpass their deaths, and killing them is probably just going to amplify that sort of shit. I'd like to think that that's the way they're talking about it, but who the hell knows at this point? Jesus.
I know it's quite interesting, and everything that's going on. Just what's being pushed. Out there. And it shouldn't surprise anyone for Dugin to show back up on the Alex Jones show at such a time as this, right? With everything going on, like, it shouldn't surprise anybody.
Why does Alex Jones still have a show? How is this possible? After everything that he owes to the Sandy Hook families at this point, he is still allowed to broadcast under the InfoWars banner. This is still under InfoWars, isn't it?
Yes, correct. Yes, because the whole thing was a dog and pony show.
Apparently,
the whole thing was a legal dog and pony show.
Right.
Just to make people rally behind Alex Jones is exactly what happened. Alex Jones is literally out there doing broadcasts saying Donald Trump and Elon Musk are defeating the New World Order and saving the world.
Holy crap!
Like, how anybody could take him seriously at this point is
they believe him now.
Is crazy. Well,
right?
I know, but it's crazy to me.
Right.
But
They believe
that's the world we live in, man.
That is, it's everything has been inverted. It's incredible that this guy's still allowed to well, whatever. I don't know. Like, I have no. I'm at a loss for words as to what to say and how to describe what we are living in right now. the things that we are seeing and we are experiencing, and the things that are to come. It's a scary time. It really is. It really is the new world order. It really is, the turning the page, right, and walking through the gate, right, and it's here now. Everything is here. There is no more speculation. It's all here, and it's being bared out. And those who have eyes to see and ears to hear will see it, and everybody else won't, and they'll just go along with it, I guess.
So you read Donald John Truth's Truth as he's casting truth to the ground as he normally does, calling Zelensky a dictator, right? But isn't it like the pot calling the kettle black? Like we could argue whether or not Zelensky is a dictator. I would say, that if you're going to call Zelensky a dictator, well, you need to call Putin and Trump dictators as well, too, because they literally carved out the Ukraine, to the detriment of the Ukrainian people.
Well, I don't think it's close, right? I don't think Zelensky is anywhere close to a dictator compared to what Donald Trump is pulling off.
I would agree
right?
with that, yes.
And what Vladimir Putin has done for quite some time.
I would agree with that, too.
They are sitting down at a table with Saudi Arabia and deciding the fate of the Ukraine without Ukraine. It's the same thing they did in the Abraham Accords without Palestine. They declared peace and never let Palestine come to the table. So it's the same thing that they're doing here with Ukraine, and Russia is going to get every single thing that it wants. Every single thing that it wanted, and maybe then some. And it may leave the door open for even more later on. So I mean, what's his name? J.D. Vance started talking a bunch of crap in Munich about how the press in Europe was being censored, and how they don't know anything about the First Amendment. I mean, the freedom of speech, and over here, what they've done here, and they kicked out the Associated Press. From White House press briefings because of they won't say Gulf of America. There are now strict rules against talking bad about Christianity or Israel. There's a lot of stuff like that. There is no such thing as freedom of speech here in the United States anymore, unless you capitulate to Trump. Disney and CBS and NBC and Meta, and I mean, you name it, have all capitulated to Donald Trump. So for them to go lecturing the world about dictatorship and about freedom of speech is kind of hypocritical, to say the least.
Yeah, it is hypocritical. Now, tomorrow is going to be one of the greatest days in QAnon operation history, Billy.
Oh, damn.
Are you ready for the confirmation of hashtag our guy, Kash Patel? Look at them eyes. Look at them eyes. Thoughts?
No. I don't want to see this is, I think this was our biggest point of contention in the past, I don't know, 2 years?
Yeah.
Arguing about Kash Patel. And how this guy would never be able to come to power because he was so freaking crazy, like literally berserk, But here we are. He's about to be the director of the FBI. I think this is the guy that's going to usher in the dark times, man. Highly unqualified, shouldn't be anywhere near this post, but he is. He's not a dumb guy by any stretch. He's a really smart guy. He's just he subscribes to things that a normal, rational person would not.
He straight up lied in the hearings, the Senate hearings. We listened.
Everybody
to,
lies in
well,
this Senate.
Well, yeah, but there were things where he was like, I don't recall ever being on the Stu Peters show, 7 times, where obviously he was, right? He's like, I don't even know who Stu Peters is. Stu Peters, who I'm not a fan of, was like, well, I mean, yeah, you were on here. I mean, Kash is a straight up liar. He's going to, I mean, he's more than just some Q-tard. Okay, I've shown on my channel that he is yoked up with Joint Special Operations Command, JSOC. When Ezra Cole Watnick came out and said that JSOC will now be the other branch of the United States military, and that was right after Trump lost the election of Biden in 2020. Okay, and Christopher Miller was there, and Kash Patel had been given a new job directly under Christopher Miller, and they had this celebration at Fort Bragg. That they're boasting of how well that their ops had gone and stuff and everything, and I remember that. I've talked about it, I covered it, and so when I saw that, I said, well, who's this Kash Patel guy? And then I always paid attention to him when he was on the Reawaken America tour. As much of cute-tardedness that show is, right? Playing around with Flynn and all that other stuff. And you and I would argue, you'd be like, there's no way. Like, first of all, there was no way Trump was going to be president. And here we are. There's no way Kash Patel would ever get confirmed. Here we are. And, it's not going to be good. Because when they break,
I didn't think we would get to a position where Kash Patel had a shot at confirmation, because I didn't think Donald Trump was going to get reelected.
Correct.
Because of the crazy things that they were saying. And I didn't think the American public would be able to take these things and properly digest them to a point where they were happy with them and allow these people to have their votes again, if you believe in the system, period. So, I mean, it's clearly happened, and I almost spit my water out when I was drinking it when I heard Kash Patel was nominated for FBI director, even though we had speculated in that direction. As when Trump won the election, I was like, shit, Kash Patel is going to be part of government, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
It's this is not a good thing. There's serious problems, serious issues. Things are going to occur under this guy. This guy is going to open the door for the degradation of American morality under the gaze of Christianity, of the worship of Christ. He's going to use that name. They are going to use that name to get through whatever they want to get through and do whatever atrocities they're going to attempt to commit, and hopefully it doesn't get that far. But I am not very optimistic at all about things going swimmingly under Kash Patel, bro.
Well, I mean, if they bring Kash Patel in, then they're going to have to do some sort of limited hangout disclosure, right? They're going to have to bring some Epstein red meat to the masses, but leave Trump and RFK Jr. out, okay? They're going to have to. Now, I was wrong. Going back, I'd put up my numerous connections to Jeffrey Epstein video on this channel. The first one, going back and re-listening to it today. I thought that they, I didn't think RFK Jr. would get this far to where he is now and the head of HHS. I thought he was, when they announced it, I knew he was going to be, when he was running against Trump, I knew he was, something was going to happen. But I made that video before that ever happened. So, I knew he was going to be like, they're going to do something with him in the administration. Okay. Anyway, the point is that I'm trying to get to with all this is with RFK Jr. now, they're using him to fulfill like this Maha platform, right? And they're not going to use Epstein stuff against him. So Kash Patel has to deliver the goods to the QAnon operation audience, right? Like he has to deliver the goods. There not really any roadblocks are happening with everything. I mean, we're already almost 4 weeks in now, and it's like every day, every hour, it's like not stopping.
Yo, shouts to Ben Balderson who's in the chat. What's up, Ben? How you doing?
Hey Ben, long time to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well.
He says that my accent made him think that I was saying the gaze of Christianity, and he was like, "What the hell is that?"
No, you meant gaze.
I said gaze. Yes. I thought I said gaze.
but
I could have been.
But anyway, the point is, okay.
I thought that was funny, John. Laugh at that. for a second.
The point is, I'm trying. I don't want to figure out my thought. All right.
Okay.
Even though you do have a crazy New York accent. Okay. The point, and I sound like a redneck.
All right, get to the point.
The point is.
What's up?
Is they're going to have to do something with Kash Patel, just like they're going to have to do something with Kennedy. They're going to have to do something with all these people. They can't put them into place and nothing to happen this time. And so much has already happened that stuff will happen. Now, I'm not saying it's a good thing, okay? That these things are happening, because what's we're going to replace these things are going to be far worse, okay? But, I mean, here we have, they had a gala for Flynn and his group, America's Future, at Mar-a-Lago. Did you see the clips from that?
No.
Well, here, this is a surprise for you. Let's see what Trump said.
Let me tell you, this guy, he's the real deal. He's a real general. And I told him, I offered him about 10 jobs. I think he's doing so well he doesn't need them, but I said, anytime you want to come in, you know that, Mike, okay? And just take care of yourself. Good luck, everybody. Have a good time. Thank you.
What? He offered him 10 jobs, and Mike Flynn turned. Now, either that story is completely bold.
He's exaggerating, brother.
Or it's real. But listen to what Flynn says afterwards, okay? Will Flynn return to the administration once there's more chaos and more things are happening and the deep state's falling down and all that other stuff? Like, if you had a gun to my head, my answer would be yes. My answer would be yes, okay? But let's see what Flynn had to say, all right?
Anyway. Yes, sir, right here. I'll come right to you, man. Yes, sir.
General Flynn, thank you for coming tonight. Just wanted to ask you, tell the guy we were talking to.
Well, maybe I am. What am I doing? What the hell am I doing other than standing up on the stage?
So look for Michael Flynn, and I'm staking a flag right now. On Last One Standing with Billy Ray Valentine. I'm staking a flag, Billy. Prepare for Michael Flynn to enter the Trump administration.
I mean, that's. I mean, you don't staking a flag for something like that is like, I don't know. Think of the most obvious thing and stick the flag on it. Like, I don't even know what to say. This guy is the epitome of what this administration represents. If you just look at Michael Flynn and his flip-flopping and the amount of disinformation he's thrown upon the people of the United States and the world, really, with fifth generation, fourth generation warfare, psychological warfare, that's what he's done his entire life. And at least his entire professional life. And he just turned that laser onto the people of the United States. And this is what we get. This is the result of it. And now we're giving him, well, not us, but, the Trump administration, the illegitimate Trump regime is going to empower him again to continue doing these things in the name of Donald Trump. On behalf of the American people, man. It's not going to be a fucking good deal. I'm not this is just not good. I mean, how many things have to happen for us to confirm that Michael Flynn was a part of the QAnon operation?
Yeah, I mean,
and if you subscribe to QAnon in any sort of way, I'm sorry, I don't mean to insult to anybody listening that might subscribe to QAnon. If you did subscribe to QAnon at one point and are no longer there, this does not apply to you. But if you in any sort of way still subscribe to QAnon, something is wrong. Something's up. But these are the people that they're putting in office: Kash Patel, Michael Flynn, totally like in that boat. I got to take a phone call, John. Keep going.
So here's something that I'm going to cover very soon on the channel. Something that I want to thank the Wretched Watchman for bringing to my attention. something called the ARC Conference, the Alliance for Responsible Leadership. Okay, it's going to happen. That's just happening right now in London. Okay, so speakers, we have good old CMP Eric Prince, good old Peter Thiel, Jordan B. Peterson, Nigel Farage, oh boy, Mike Johnson, Vivek Ramaswamy, Konstantin Kisin, who on X pushes a lot of pro-Dugin Arctos propaganda, and Tony Abbott. So there you go. A lot of big-name hitters are going to be at the ARC conference 2025. So definitely
The ARC conference, as in Noah's Ark, or what?
Well, the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship, with a good old speech directly by your favorite, Peter Thiel. Now let's look at ARC, the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship. Again, I want to thank the Wretched Watchman for bringing this originally to my attention. So here we have. No, it's just happening right now. Actually, we missed it. Oh. So here we have, Jordan Peterson wearing his Heaven and Hell blue and red jacket. Okay. The Best of Our Inheritance, Restoring Our Foundations. That's the book for ARC. And then we have kind of like this kind of Greco-Roman aesthetic, right? ARC Research is a nonprofit company which exists to renew the social fabric, developing a pro-human vision of energy, business, and governance, and ultimately tell a better story for the future. So that's human potential, which is beyond theosophy, that humanity can save the world. Okay, so it's very human potential in that language, as I've covered for my channel throughout these years. And then you have an advisory board, and so the advisory board, looking through it. God. Oh, good. CFR Dan Crenshaw, right? Everybody's favorite conservative, right? Who's also part of the, World Economic Forum's Young Global Leader, right? He's our guy, right? Jordan B. Peterson. Jordan B. Peterson's orthodox, quote-unquote, right-hand man, Jonathan Pajal, okay? And then, like I said, Konstantin Kisin, who I see on X, Push, Arctos Publishing, and Dugin, gives him a platform. Oh, good old Mike Johnson.
Nice.
The current Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, the ardent Zionist Mike Johnson. Good old Michael Schellenberger, who I see very much pushing false narratives on X. And also he's apparently a leading intellectual pro-human environmental movement. Oh boy, good old U.S. Senator Mike Lee, Billy. I think that's really former Prime Minister of Australia Tony Abbott, who's also speaking. Good old Vivek Ramaswamy, right? So, what do you think about ARC 2025 in the either Peter Thiel is going to go speak at?
I think it's interesting. Are they going to live stream this?
Yes, 150 pounds. Oh, good. Hosted by everybody's favorite conservative, homosexual Dave Rubin. The conservatives love Dave Rubin so much, right? Good old conservative values.
If they're going to live stream it, I think it's worth seeing what Peter Thiel has to say.
I do want to see what he has to say. Yes,
a lot of these people are going to get up there and just spew fucking nonsense, right? Like, I mean, just a ton of ridiculous, not provable, just nonsense, and they're going to waste your time. Even though it is, I wouldn't necessarily call it a complete waste of time if you're trying to research the enemy, and debunk the enemy. But Peter Thiel is a different, bag of rice altogether. I'd like to sit down and listen to what he has to say. I don't know how much disinformation is coming, but I think a lot of disclosure as to what we need to expect would come out of Peter Thiel's speech. So I'd be interested in listening to that.
And if I remember correctly, I think the ARC Institute was initially like Jordan B. Peterson's big thing. Like, I think this is his, if I remember correctly, but I could be mistaken about this. But I think this is what him and Jonathan Pajal end up, founding. And look how far we've come now, right? Where they're literally platforming Peter Thiel, right? And I think the Wretched Watchman, I think it was ARC. One of these symbols for ARC, Billy, was the Tower of Babel. Literally.
So this all is biblical in a way. So you know, the arc reference may not be too far off, I guess.
No, but I mean that's what we have, you know, going on is further disinformation to the masses. Is kind of like Jordan B. Peterson running you could argue, kind of an alternative Bilderberg. You know, especially if Peter Thiel, you know, one of the major Bilderbergers showing up, right? You know, so I mean, it is what it is. Oh, here's a good video, you know, of Trump and Musk on Hannity for you. Let's see what they have to say here.
And DC, and I'm like, the sheer scale.
It's massive. So you love the challenge.
Well, I mean, to the president's point.
That's the only thing you can say. He'll never do anything.
I mean, you do something slightly better and you save billions of dollars for the American taxpayer. Just slightly better.
When you say
slightly.
Tech support.
You get 1% better, and it's like, you know, tens of billions of dollars saved for the American taxpayer.
Thoughts?
You know, it's it. I want to say something to everybody watching right now, and everybody that's going to watch after the fact, right? And we should know this by now, but it bears repeating, given the new administration, right? The new illegitimate regime that we have in front of us right now. You should always research everything that comes out of these people's mouths, but right now it's imperative that you do not let up on that practice, right? Anything that comes out of Elon Musk's mouth, or Donald Trump's mouth, or Pat Bundy, or
Scientologist Pam Bondi, the current
right
law of the land attorney general.
Yeah. Like any of these people, you got to take it as it's a lie. You know, it's a lie until proven true. You know, that's how you have to take it. You know, so anything that comes out of their mouth, you got to research it 3, 4, 5 times. You can't take it at face value and just assume they're lying to you, or what they're saying is wrong. Elon Musk came out and said as much. He's like, I will say wrong things. You know, that's fine. We say wrong things, and you know, it's up to you to correct us. And when you correct us, we'll correct it. But I won't be right all the time. I will say things that are wrong. They're already telling you that he's talking a bunch of bullshit. So please just do yourself a favor. And us, the rest of America, we need people these next 4 years or however long this lasts. And I mean more, not less than 4 years, because who knows at this point. We need people to help uphold ideas and concepts that are closer to the truth than what these people are talking about, because they are very, very far away from the truth. And we need people to help push back. So please, just don't believe what they're saying. And when you find the truth, post it or spread it or help try to get it out there. That way our friends and families are better aware of what's going on, even if they choose to not accept the information. You know, at least you're trying, and maybe something will snap it. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's time of wake up, right? That alarm clock is different, you know, and certain things have to happen in order for certain people to snap out of it, myself included. So we just got to try to be patient, try to be empathetic, but we have to get as close to the truth as you possibly can. Taking them at face value is not going to do that.
Yeah, with the amount of lies that they're pushing, that's right. For sure. And so we're winding down. I got 2 things for you left. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is now Elon Musk was wearing a tech support shirt, but he doesn't work for the government anymore. Doge isn't officially part of the government. Okay, even though he called himself government tech support. Okay,
but he's not a part of Doge.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and he was wearing his Omega Point pendant. I've covered that. Okay. And so here we have him speaking to good old CIA's ultra-Zionist Sean Hannity with Trump, you know, who I believe might be the Antichrist, Donald John Trump, and the false prophet, Elon Musk, the voice. Let's see how well they get together, because it's very interesting. You know, they talk about in the news media how much they hate each other. But if we're going to psychoanalyze Donald Trump and Elon Musk, well, Donald Trump's an ENTJ and Elon Musk is an INTP. That's a stage 1 golden pair. So I don't think they're fighting each other at all. At all. And so let's see here what Elon Musk has to say about Trump. And I actually really believe that he's telling the truth here. At least about how much he loves Donald Trump. Not what he says about Donald Trump itself, okay?
Right.
I know. I love the
You love the president.
I think President Trump is a good man, and he's, you know,
It's nice the way he said that, you know? There's something nice about it.
really is. You know, because I mean, the president's been so unfairly attacked in the media. It's really outrageous. And I've at this point spent a lot of time with the president, and not once have I seen him do something that was mean or cruel or. I know. I love
You love the president.
I think President Trump is.
Thoughts?
We should come up with some video of Elon Musk bad mouthing Donald Trump and some of the things he used to say about Trump back in the day.
But I do believe he does love him now. I do believe whatever happened at the Butler, Pennsylvania event changed Elon Musk's relationship to Trump.
I think he loves what Donald Trump is allowing him to do.
Sure.
I don't think he loves Donald Trump per se. I think Elon Musk is the ultimate opportunist and a master manipulator. I think a lot of the people that are currently in power with Donald Trump
Sorry, go ahead. I was setting up the next clip. I'm sorry.
Have figured out how to tame the beast and use the beast to get their, to get what they want, to get to their ends. And I think that's what Elon Musk has ultimately done. Elon Musk is doing many, many things that are ultimately going to benefit him at the end of the day, and he's using Donald Trump to do it. So I think he loves that. I don't know if he loves Donald Trump. I think this relationship, while it looks very nice and fruitful right now, I think it's a fragile one, because both of these guys are egomaniacs. Both of them are narcissists. And if you know anything about narcissists, they don't care about anybody but themselves. They will put up a front to everyone else and to the entire world. But it's all about perception, and they don't care about anyone but themselves, like I said earlier. So I don't know how long this will keep up. Maybe it stays because it's mutually beneficial for both of them. So maybe it'll stay for a while. But I don't think it's genuine love there, sir.
It's not genuine, but I think he loves him in a way that they fulfill each other's wants. Now, maybe that will go on by its wayside eventually, if they are not the Antichrist and the false prophet. But if they are, it doesn't. Eventually, Elon Musk will wield the power of Trump.
Right.
So here, this is not what I wanted to show you, but it's something that's just breaking news because, time is, breaking news. Time is accelerating. Okay. Because we are in the end days, Billy, even though you deny it. Okay. I think that we should govern the District of Columbia. I think that we should run it strong, run it with law and order, make it absolutely flawless. And I think we should take over Washington, D.C. We should save people from getting killed. They have a great police department there. Somehow they're not utilized properly. We should govern D.C. The federal government should take over the governance of D.C. and run it really properly. And I like the mayor. I get along great with the mayor. They're not doing the job. Too much crime, too much graffiti, too much tents on the lawns. Because, Trump hates the homeless. I've covered that. Okay? He hates homeless people, wants to put them in camps. I've covered it. It's part of Agenda 47. All right? He disdains homeless people. As Christians, we are supposed to love the less fortunate. We're supposed to take care of the less fortunate. Okay? Trump has no love for them whatsoever. Okay? It's a sad thing. Homeless people all over the place. We got to take care of the homeless. We can't have that in Washington, D.C. When they come in to see me, like Macron is coming, the Prime Minister of UK is coming, all these people are coming over to see me. We have ultimately President Xi. We have everybody. You can't let this happen. You can't have tents all over your once magnificent houses and lawns. You just can't do it. Thoughts?
I don't know what you want me to say. Dude wants to take over the world, bro. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. And he's
the time has come.
Sorry, go ahead. That's what I got to play for you. I'm sorry.
He's locking people up left and right. He opened up Guantanamo Bay again. You know, there were only like 5 people there at the end of the Biden administration. Biden should have shut it down. He didn't. And now Trump is sending people there. They also have Rikers Island. And
Obama should have shut down Guantanamo Bay, right? Wasn't he originally campaigning to do that back in 2008?
I don't remember, but
I
probably.
think so, yes. I do believe that to be true.
Even if he wasn't, he should have shut it down. But Biden had a clear opportunity to do that and make history. And he did not. You know, while he was pardoning his family, he could have gone ahead and say, you know what, we're shutting down Guantanamo Bay. Get the 5 people there that were never charged with crimes. Get them out. Let's do something with them. Either give them a fair trial or let them go. But he didn't do that. And now we got the worst of the worst, according to Donald Trump, going to Guantanamo Bay. But of course, it's just regular people that he's putting there, per reports. They could just pick up these people and send them to El Salvador, bro. Bukele already said he wanted to take people, American citizens, to put in his prison system in order for a small fee, so the U.S. can fund the prison system. It's incredible. We're paying for prison systems outside of our borders at this point. This is what it's become. So no, none of that surprises me, John.
By the way, many people in the chat said they've missed you. Okay.
I've missed all of you.
There were a lot of people in the chat. Many people said that they missed hearing you. They missed us doing shows together. Numerous people in the chat, so that should make you feel good. First of all.
I do want to, before we get out of here, play this clip for me, and we'll talk about it. But I do want to talk to you about H.P. Lovecraft, and I remember the name. What's up? One thing that he had to say, but I want your thoughts on it. Not necessarily mine. But go ahead.
All right, so this is it. This is me dropping the hammer on you. I hope you're ready. Okay, you prepared?
I am not ready, but damn it, man, let's do it.
Okay, let's go.
The time has come to reaffirm our enduring spirit, to choose our better history, to carry forward that precious gift, that noble idea passed on from generation to generation, the God-given promise that all are equal, all are free, and all deserve a chance to pursue their full measure of happiness.
Near the end of their rule, when their sin becomes great, an outsider from the West, who has a fierce face, will come in without warning. When its people feel safe, he'll seize the kingdom by flattery and tell them lies right to their face. He will grow and become strong with only a few people. His power will be great, but it won't be his own. It will be fake. He will cause astounding devastation, and because his look is more prominent than the others, he will subdue 3 kings from that nation. He will think he's invincible, because he succeeds in everything that he does. The beast of Revelation 13, the one who is and was not. He will plot and scheme. He'll get rid of anyone who stands in his way. As a result of his influence, he will have the power to sway. Because he's clever, he will deceive many people and cause them to stop believing in truth. But when his 42 months are up, the Lord Jesus will come back and give him the boot. He will destroy powerful leaders and also the holy people. You see, the coming of the lawless one is according to Satan's plan. Remember in Genesis 3, he's subtle, he's crafty. The reason that Adam and Eve ate that fruit from off the forbidden tree, he is why they disobeyed God and caused the fall of humanity. Perhaps he is the reason why many choose not to believe. Did your pastor forget to tell you that Satan loves to masquerade as an angel, just so he can deceive? So it's no wonder that his seed is a big talker, the little horn, a master of intrigue. When he lies, he speaks his native language. Just like his daddy, he opposes and exalts himself above all that is sacred and worshipped. He is the fake I am. But oh no, he got rid of abortion, so he must be God's chosen man. As if we needed another savior to lead God's children into the promised land. He's ruthless, despicable. He shows no regard for the feelings of others. That's why you really need to watch him. He sows discord among brothers, and even mocks people with disabilities. Like, how do you mock someone with a disability? Do you really think God is pleased? If you do, I'm here to tell you, dear friend, you have been deceived. He's the reason that so many Christians have already fallen away, why the church is so divided and just can't seem to agree. Wake up, brothers and sisters. Why is it that you don't have eyes to see? Is it because the cares of this life have made you drowsy and have caused you to fall asleep? Or you just decided not to study the parts about eschatology? Or did you believe your pastor when he told you, no need to worry, we won't be here, we will all fly away? If I were you, I'd read that verse again, 'cause that ain't what the Bible say. He's the abomination that causes desolation. He will think to change times and laws, and for a time and half a time, he'll declare war on the saints of the Most High God. But the good news is, those who endure till the end will get the victory. They will overcome him by the words of their testimony and by the precious blood of the Lamb. But in the future, you must be careful not to receive a mark on your forehead or right hand, including those who worship his image will most certainly all be damned. So as we close, you must remember, it's really important that you understand that the coming of the lawless one is according to Satan's plan, with signs and lying wonders and false miracles in his hand. Those who don't believe will ultimately perish, because when folks were trying to warn them, they kept rejecting the truth. So God sent them strong delusion so that they can't believe the truth.
Thoughts?
Well, how much of that is wrong?
Not
much of it.
A lot of it is from Scripture.
Yeah, I mean it's spot on, right? Except for when they called him a master of manipulation or some shit. It's a master of something. I don't think Donald Trump is a master of anything, and that's what makes it so hard for me to believe that he is the actual Antichrist.
But it's Satan in him that is all these things. It's not him. It's Satan that's in him.
Regardless, I see right through him. And I don't think that's something difficult to do. I think most people should be able to see right through this obvious con man. But that's not the case. I don't understand it, John.
The grand illusion that God gives the world. If he is.
It's like I don't know. I don't understand how we got to this point. I don't understand it. I don't know if I will ever understand it. You know, that we are here right now watching the destruction, the literal, it's the end of an era. Things will never be the same again, even if we get Donald Trump up out of here. They'll never be the same again after these 3 weeks. Imagine 4 years, how transformative it's going to be. And I don't think it's for the best, you know, and I think a lot of people don't think it's for the best. Somebody in the chat said that, you know, they're trying to create a third term for Donald Trump. And that is something we need to be very, very weary of. You know, and we need to keep an eye on it because they're pushing it and he's flirting with it. Donald Trump is.
Oh, Bannon's been talking about it forever, right? The king, you know, dictator day one, he didn't stop being a dictator.
Right.
I mean, we both said if he was going to come in being a dictator, it wouldn't stop. And it hasn't stopped. And
No.
it won't stop.
Right. I'm hoping we can create some friction, but it doesn't look likely. I don't believe he is the Antichrist. But you can make the argument that he's Antichrist light.
You can make the argument he's the Antichrist too.
It's tough. It's tough to make that argument given history and what other people in other times have gone through, and and we've been able to come out of it. So we're not even at the levels of suffering that other people throughout time have been at yet. We're just seeing it unfold right now, where there is potential to come to that, and I'm not blind to that. I see the potential for it. I am very anti-Donald Trump. I've been anti-Donald Trump since before being anti-Donald Trump was cool across the nation. Here in New York, we really didn't like that guy. Since as long as I can remember. I understand the guy is a problem. I just don't understand how many people are willing to go along with this, or just blind to the point, right? Blind to the fact, and allowing these things to happen, spending your energy and your vote on this guy. I just don't understand it, John. And we can talk about, well, you and I talk about it all the time, almost every day, about the possibility of this man being the Antichrist. And on top of you, I have a lot of other, not a lot, but several other close friends in the alternative media that are leaning towards your point. And
there's not a lot of people. There's only a handful.
A handful, but that's a lot of that's a handful of people that I respect. Telling me that this guy's the Antichrist, right? And I'm not there yet. But once it becomes fully apparent, and to some it may already be apparent. But I mean, once it's undeniable, it's undeniable.
And I'm not completely there either. But if it happened, right, I'd be like, yeah, right? I'd be like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. If you told me Barack Obama was the Antichrist, I'd be more inclined to believe.
He doesn't fit it from the Bible, though.
I'm just saying. Listen to me. Let me get to my point. I'm not saying he fits everything, but if you, I'm just trying to make a point as to the type of person that can fool the masses. Obama is slick. It's very intelligent. Knows what to say, when to say it, incredible charisma. A guy like that can put you to sleep. Trump is obvious. Right now, there is no mask. If there was a mask, he took it off a long time ago. He's telling you he's above the law, or more importantly, he is the law. He's telling you this, and people still want to go along with it. So that's the part of me that I just cannot understand that. I can't come to terms with it. It doesn't work out in my brain, So that's what else can I say? We're in for some times.
I mean, more time will pass. We'll know, right?
Yeah, at some point it's going to become undeniable, guys. If he is the Antichrist for real, I mean, we're in for it, regardless whether he's the Antichrist or not. We're here. We're gonna see a lot of things, a lot of very, very bad things happen within the next 4 years. Hopefully, we'll look back at this video 4 years from now and be like, "Damn, we were very wrong." I'd love to come back 4 years from now and sit here and talk to you, be like, "Damn, we were completely wrong about that, weren't we, John?"
Now we could be wrong about Trump being the Antichrist, but we might still be in the tribulation within 4 years. And Trump wasn't the Antichrist, and there is another Antichrist.
I don't, I'm talking about the bad things that we will see in the next 4 years, right?
I'm
Hopefully,
more likely that we're entering into the tribulation. I'm more likely on that. I would stake that at a high 95, 99% confidence. That I'm more for sure of. Now, I do again believe Trump is my number one candidate for Antichrist, and Elon Musk is my number one candidate for false prophet. And it's been that way for a while. We've had numerous discussions about that. Anybody who's listened on this channel or followed me the many years I haven't been on YouTube, I've said these things. Been pretty consistent
did you
about
tell
that.
everybody where you are now?
Where they can find me, yeah.
Tell everybody where they can find you, just in case this channel goes away.
Well, they can find me on Substack. Search We've Read the Documents. They can search me on Odyssey. We've Read the Documents. Patreon. We've Read the Documents. I'm no longer on X. The Holy Spirit convicted me to get off on Inauguration Day. You can find my account there, but I'm not posting. I don't know, man. Like, none of this is good.
No.
Even whether he's the Antichrist or not, none of it is good. And so many people, like, that's my biggest argument that I have if I'm using rhetoric. But there is a little bit of logic in it, more than a little bit of logic, good amount of logic in it. Is if there is another Antichrist, who on the world stage is going to match the biblical verses that Trump has and accelerate it, like time-wise, if the return of Jesus Christ is 2033-ish, right? Like, we're running out of time for it to be anybody else on the world stage. Not that it couldn't happen that way, but we're running out of time. So, we'll see.
I don't want to set boundaries to things that we know nothing about in reality. We can speculate all day long, but we far from have this figured out. But let me get you this before we get out of here. H.P. Lovecraft said in one of his comments, he says, I prefer Trump and the beast system to what came before me in my entire life. Not pushing back at all, he says. That's actually going against the will of God. Just learn to survive, and the devil I know is okay, he says. So pretty much saying that we shouldn't push back because it's against God's will. What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, yes and no. So, like, is it going to happen, and do I accept it if it is God's will to happen? Like, if Trump's the Antichrist, he's bringing in the beast system, like, will a part of me accept?
There's nothing you can do about it. Right?
Like it's God's will. What am I going to say? You know, like, I understand that. I look for Jesus Christ's return, just like Paul said, Marantha, come quickly, Lord Jesus, right? But at the same time, I take the verse out of Amos 5:18, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, to what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, right? So though I look forward to Jesus Christ's second coming, I also have to keep it in balance with Amos 5:18, meaning that a lot of people are going to die, and there's going to be a lot of hardship. That's why it's called the Great Tribulation, the Great Terrible Day of the Lord, right? So, my own family's going to die in front of me. They might be murdered or raped in front of me. I might be, killed myself. Yes, I will die for Jesus. But, it's still a horrific thing to go through, Now, the flesh still has to deal with those things. The spirit in me is strong, but the flesh still has to deal with those things. If we enter into World War III and a fourth of the world population is killed, that's a lot of people, Billy. We're probably not even going to make that. Okay, to be honest, most people aren't going to survive 1/4 of the population roughly being killed during World War III, during the war horse, right? So, just based off of that alone, where I live, I live in Fayetteville, North Carolina, next to Fort Bragg, unless I move, I'm probably it's probably gonna get destroyed. Okay? So, that alone, I'm probably gonna die. So, yes, I do want Jesus to come to hold the evil accountable and to eliminate the Antichrist and to eliminate the false prophet and the armies and the people that conspire and join with them against Jesus. And I do look forward to the millennial kingdom in the reign of the saints. Like, I do look forward to those things, because that is God getting vengeance, right? Trump's vengeance, false fleshly vengeance, will be stopped as the Antichrist. And Jesus Christ will get true vengeance as though who treads the wide press alone against him. But you have to balance that out with, like it says in Amos, and that the day of the Lord is going to be a day of darkness. It's going to be a day of judgment. Okay? So, you got to kind of like balance the two. And anybody who hears, that says that they are 100% looking forward to, the day of the terrible day of the Lord, the tribulation, right? With 100%, like your flesh is looking for your, the spirit is, but the flesh. I don't know that to be true. Like we understand we're going to go down as martyrs. And I hope to go down preaching the gospel and doing it with love. But that's still a tough thing for anybody,
Well,
does that make sense of what I'm saying?
No, absolutely, man. It's a difficult thing to work your way through. And I would just say that you don't do the right thing because it's going to lead to victory. You do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. That's the only reason to do that's the reason. You do it because it's the right thing to do. So just because we can't change what's to come doesn't mean we don't push back against it, in my opinion. We have to push back because it's the right thing to do to push back. It's the right thing to do. And everybody has a different role and a different way of pushing back, right? Hopefully non-violent, right? But we have to do the right thing. So let's push back for that. Got to get out of here, John. Tell the people what's up.
Yeah,
Actually, give me a second. I'll be right back.
I was about to say you could tell them where they can find you. Yeah, but I think we should expose the evils of the Antichrist and of the beast system and warn people not to take the mark of the beast, that they'll lose any chance of salvation. They're damned at that point. I think we have to do it in balance, right? We're also supposed to rejoice when the harlot, the current world system, is destroyed by the Antichrist. They rejoice in heaven when God's judgment comes against the harlot. So we're supposed to keep everything, everything with the love of God, right? And so, in the trust and faith in God the Father and Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit. So, it's not an easy answer. Bear in the chat said the day will be like if you get away from a lion and run into a bear. Scary, but look up. Yeah. It's. I look forward to the day that I get to see Jesus and that I'm in heaven and I'm on the new heaven and the new earth. But if we have to live through the tribulation, it's still going to be a very difficult time, that the flesh is going to have anxiety and worry and doubt and maybe even anger. But again, the spirit in someone who's born again is stronger and will override all those things, hopefully. Just like the apostles that faced martyrdom in the first century, and just like Christians who face martyrdom now. So hopefully that makes sense. Billy, tell everybody where you can find you, brother. I know you got to go.
Well, I don't know. I don't know where you can find me. You can find me here with John from time to time. Other than that, I don't know where I'll be. So just find me here with John. If you need to get at me for whatever reason, hit John up and he'll hit me up. We'll do that.
All right. Sounds good. God bless everyone who's listening. Take care. See you soon. Bye.